Thank you, Hunter. And I think that's true about poetry, so now I'll read you some fiction. Well, you're right, you can't see anybody. I don't even really remember writing this story, or who I was when I wrote it, but I remember being really excited when it appeared here. And also with a brilliant drawing and caption from Mr. Berman. So I'll just read it. But it's great to be here and to, celebrate this 20-year project of Hunters. And God, what a fucking great thing this was. So the story's called I Tried to Be a Beacon. I worked with rich kids for a while. I tried to teach them what I knew. I didn't know much, but substitute teachers aren't supposed to know much. Real, actual teachers don't know much either. Or we'd all know more, wouldn't we? Take history. I knew some history. Not treaty dates, not kings or kingly edicts, not the pageantry of democracy or the mosaic of liberty, or whatever that bundle of smudgy photocopies was called. All I knew for certain historically was my comparative misfortune. I made sure to implicate their ancestors, a continuum of villainy. Just so you understand, I told them, your trust funds soak in the blood of the people. Just the principle, said the tiniest one. He'd been born without kidneys. Some thought him plucky. English, even here, was just those shabby tragedies. I staged the balcony scene, made two boys kiss. See what it was like, I said? Physics, trig. From my end, it was mostly guesswork. I told them the field had changed since my student days. Let's back up a bit, I said. I wrote cosine on the board. Yo, mister, somebody said, there's no G, and there's an E at the end. When did they start doing that, I said. More than a few of the students hailed from the gated communities where suicide was a way of life. Hints of self-violence tended to quiet them. When they were over loud or chucking paper clips, hoping to blind, I'd throw my head back, hum, put a pencil at my eye. The brain matter really makes this bit, I'd tell them. When I'm dead, call the nurse. When once in study hall, they absolutely refused to study, I sent them home early. Those of you who are bright, I said, will go to good universities. The rest of you will live your days shrouded in unspoken family shame. I get paid either way. There were no handbooks for us, no tenets on file. No one ever told us what to do. A real, actual teacher took me by the elbow in the hall. Wear one specific thing, he said. One somewhat unusual thing. A wooden belt, say. If the kids are small, just walk over and stand there. Offer to help, but be careful. You can scar them. With the bigger kids, separate the girls without breasts from the boys. Stay at your desk. Make like you're writing things down. They wanted to know where I'd gone to college. They wanted to know if I had a wife. They wanted to know if I'd always known I would end up like this. I wasn't sure, I said. They wanted to know where the real, actual teacher was. They don't tell me that stuff, I said. I need to know, just like you. It was my policy, if I detected signs of nascent drug abuse, to confer with the student in private. In a few years, I would say, the good times will be over. The dabblers will fall away. At this point, you're going to have to ask yourself, do I have the courage, the wherewithal for a serious, sustained habit? All I'm saying is, if it's going to be, plan for it. Make the adjustments now. If my explication contradicted a previous lesson, I deferred to whatever was in their notebooks. I guess I come from a different school, I would say. What school, they wanted to know. Every so often I'd get the genius. He was 11, 12, with a heavy blonde mustache. He'd recently been retained to teach a chemistry survey at the junior college. He came to our school a few times a week for peer development. Apparently, it was going well. He dated a girl his age, the daughter of a famous rock impresario. She had devised an elaborate in-class courier system for the notes she sent and received. "Stacy bitch," one I intercepted read. "Try swallowing your father's cum a little less and thinking about your friends who got you into Hedda Gabler even though you couldn't be bothered going to auditions a little more." I liked the genius. I liked to picture him years later in a moment of crisis, maybe involving the woman this girl would become. I put him at a window in a stark location, somewhere seaside, bleak. He'd watch the storm gather and recall an utterance from some dim figure of his youth. One of his many celebrated mentors? No, another man, the one with the wooden belt. Now the genius would smile, set his pistol down, join his spoiled wife.